What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Come Back Sports. It's a show about 10 of the most relevant sports topics going on in the sports world happening this week. As always, I am one of your hosts, Pat the Shot Caller Flaherty. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Brendan the Coach Perry. Brendan, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. Having a great day. Exciting week of sports. And I know I'm looking really forward to diving into our 10 topics, especially topic number 10, F1 in Miami.
You are the F1 expert on this panel, no question, but it is going to be something exciting to talk about later on in the show. But we got a lot to talk about today, folks, but as always, make sure that if you really like this show, you're watching right now, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube to Come Back Sports. Give us a subscription, and also if you want to go in the live chat or make a comment and say that you are the next subscriber, whatever number you are, we'll make sure to bring up your name on the show next time around. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Twitter handles right at the bottom of your screen. And again, folks, we're adding another feature. Soon you're going to be able to call into the show, but for right now, give us a call, leave a voicemail, leave a question about what you want us to talk about, any type of subject in sports. Doesn't matter what sport it is, doesn't matter what level it is. Give us a question, leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the air, and then we'll try to answer your question. There's the phone number right there at the bottom of the screen. We're going to have that up throughout the show as well. So, Brandon, topic number one, very local topic here in Massachusetts. For the second year in a row, there was no Boston Marathon on Patriots Day. I always love Marathon Monday / Patriots Day. I used to always go to the Red Sox game, the 11:35 Red Sox game every year. Last couple of years, haven't been able to go. And then just not having the marathon for the second year in a row just didn't feel like Patriots Day once again here in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, especially with the pandemic here. They had to put it on hold, and they're going to try to hold the actual marathon in the fall later this year. So we'll see. Hopefully that it will actually go off, but it will definitely have a different feel considering it's not in the spring and it's not on Patriots Day, especially if you're from New England or if you're from Boston or Massachusetts like we are, that, like you said, we're so used to having it on Patriots Day that it's kind of been an oddity that it hasn't been, obviously, these last 2 years, but understandable due to the pandemic. And we're talking about millions of people coming into the city, not only to run, but also to spectate. So it was just an understandable thing to hold it and to hold it virtually, I guess, for these last 2 years, where you could kind of take part in it and put in virtual times. But everybody knows it's not the real thing. So we're really looking forward to the real thing coming back later this fall. And I know we're really looking forward to the real thing coming back in the spring, hopefully, of next year on Patriots Day, the day that it's supposed to be running, the day that it really feels for all of us. And, it's always such a beautiful day and you're enjoying the day. And I just love checking in on the marathon, especially once they're hitting the hill section, because that's really when you're starting to see who's going to make it or break it, right? And you're starting to see people pull away from the pack at that point. So it's a big deal, especially around here. And I would arguably say, the biggest and best marathon in the world, in my opinion. Only other ones up there would be the New York Marathon and the London Marathon. But Boston Marathon, I'd say, is better than both of those by far. And yeah, Boston strong, and looking forward to seeing it coming back strong.
Definitely. I mean, Marathon Monday, you're usually doing a couple of things. You're either going to the Red Sox game and then going out to a bar after to watch the rest of the marathon. You're hanging out at somebody's roof deck in Boston, either if you can see the marathon itself or if it's just, fun day Monday and everybody's having a few drinks and hanging out and grilling and doing all that kind of stuff. Even if it's 45 degrees out here in New England, we don't care because it's almost like the sign of spring, here in New England. So are you doing that, or you're actually going to the marathon as a spectator and watching the marathon, which is also a lot of fun. So, it just, unfortunately, a few years ago, we were talking before the show how the marathon bombing was in 2013, which was obviously awful. And that was something that, we never thought we would miss the marathon so much after that, And then we've had some great marathons since then. And then last year with the pandemic, and it's like now we're missing it entirely. And then we're moving it this year. And it's too bad because it's just such a great sports day in New England, and especially in Massachusetts, because Patriots Day is not a national holiday. I didn't even know that till I got to college. Like I thought that like Patriots Day was this national holiday that everybody got off, but it's just a Massachusetts thing. So it's one of my favorite days, sports days of the year in April. I always try to go to the Sox game. You got the marathon on. It's always just a fun day. Like I said, it's a sign of the spring. And without that, it just didn't feel right. Even though the Red Sox, had a game at 11:30, they beat the White Sox 11-4 on Monday. It just wasn't the same without having that marathon. So I hope that the fall one goes well. It might be cool to see a marathon in the fall because we have the foliage, we have this fall weather that we always love here in New England. But it's not going to be the same as when it's in April on Patriots Day, which hopefully in 2022 it's going to be back to normal with the Boston Marathon next year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hopefully back to normal. And I think it will be. I think we're working our way quickly back to normal. And speaking of the sign of spring here, you might have seen me swatting. I've got a stink bug flying around in the room here. So definitely a sign of spring with these bugs coming back. So once you jump on this Red Sox topic, I'm going to jump out of the screen and go kill this thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the marathon coming back and looking forward to the championship runners coming back to the streets of Boston, hopefully sooner than later. We'll see what they can do in the fall with the temperature being changed. It should be a totally different race at that point. But I'm really looking forward to seeing it coming back full time next year in the spring.